So I was able to make $1.5 grand a month with one book. And yeah, I know it sounds fake, but it's actually real. You can make $1.5 grand a month with one book on KDP if you do the book correctly. Now, when I launched the book, it didn't make $1.5 grand the first month. It slowly built up to $1.5 grand. And the thing is, I learned a bunch of lessons along the way. In fact, I'm going to share with you one lesson from each jump that I've made from this book. And I'm even going to show you this final lesson right here, which is one of the most important lessons. And I know a bunch of you guys are going to be like, oh, that's not possible. Oh, show us proof, Barry, show us proof. I can't show you proof because I already sold that business. But I can tell you what I've learned each step of the way. Now, if you don't believe me, that's okay. You can click off the video. Go watch another KDP YouTuber. Go learn about low content and all of that. It's fine. Don't worry about it. But for you guys that do want to learn what I've learned along the way, so you can maybe see how other publishers are publishing, maybe kind of see the mindset of someone, then make sure to stay until the end of the video because I'm going to show you this final lesson here. And it's about Amazon ads. It's what every single publisher, especially new publisher, gets wrong about Amazon ads. Actually, not every publisher, most new publishers. Some people actually do get ads correct. What's the first lesson that I've learned? Making $100 a month. Now, the reason I wanted to make $100 a month is because I didn't really have money for petrol. And all I really wanted was just to make money, enough money to pay for my petrol. Because I had to take all my friends to school and I only had around 20 euros. I was living in Europe. So I had 20 euros to take them to school and back. 20 euros is not enough for petrol every single month. So $100 was my goal because I knew that was enough to get me to school and back. In fact, I remember a time when I was in the army and my car actually ran out of petrol in the highway. But anyway, what's the first lesson I learned at $100 a month? The first lesson I learned is that book covers are way more complicated than you think. You might think you have a good book cover, and I'm going to ask you why. Why do you think your book cover is good? If you can answer that question specifically why your book cover is good, then you might actually have a good book cover. But if your answer is, well, I don't know, it just looks good, your book cover is probably shit. Probably. Now, I'm not a psychic. I can't just see your book cover through the screen. I'm just saying, based on hundreds of clients that I've worked with for KDP, most of their book covers were shit. And I have people messaging me every day, Barry, my book is not selling. My book cover is good. Please tell me why it's not selling. And they send me the book and the book cover is shit. Obviously, I'm a little bit more polite when we're talking one-on-one. I'm not going to tell you your book cover is shit, but I will try to guide you on how to get a slightly better book cover. Now, I know what you're asking. How do you know if your book cover is shit? How do I know if my book cover is good? Well, there's only one thing you can do. Now, this is the absolute basic thing you need to understand about any business. No matter what business you run, this is one of the most important things about business. Are you ready? Can you read that? Data. If you don't have data on your book cover, then how the fuck are you going to know if your book cover is good or not? If you're sitting there on Canva and then you make a book cover and you see it and you're like, oh, that looks good. Oh yeah, I'm proud of myself. I think I did a good job. The data is all in your mind. That's not the data you want. You don't want the data in your mind. You want actual real life data. And how do you get that? Well, I'm going to tell you two ways. There's a paid way and there's a free way. I know a lot of you are going to go for the free way, and the free way is good as well. But I'm going to tell you the paid way first. So what's the paid way? Super simple. There's a website called PickFu. If you go on PickFu, you can basically put two different covers, send out a poll to like 50 people or 100 people or 150 people, and then they can vote on their favorite cover. Now, if you have one cover and you think your cover is really, really good, then you're going to create a poll with your cover, and then the second cover you're going to put is not going to be your cover, it's going to be your biggest competitor. And then you're going to run that poll, and then you're going to gather data. Which one do people prefer? Do they prefer your one or the competitor's one? If they pick the competitor's one, you're fucked anyway. Go back, change your cover, retest it until they start picking your one. Because they're real people. Real people are going to be clicking on your cover. If you don't have the data to back up your decision, how are you going to be confident in your book? So PickFu is a great way. I'm not going to tell you exactly how you use it. You can go on Google, search how to use PickFu. You can do your own research. Figure out how to use PickFu, figure out the prices and all of that. All the information is free on the internet. But if you want to test out your covers and gather data super fast and real life data, then use PickFu. Now, what about the free way? What's the free way? The free way is you get your cover. Okay, this one here is your cover. We're going to make it black so we can differentiate it. And then you're going to put it in one document, an image document, a Photoshop document, a Canva document, whatever you want. And you're going to put all your other competitors together. And you're going to create something called a vision board. I don't know if it's called a vision board, but I call it a vision board. I think a vision board is something else, but that's okay. As long as you get the message, it's fine. You're going to put your book cover against all the other ones on one document. You can even print this out if you want. And then what you're going to do is you're going to give this document to a bunch of people that you know. They don't even have to be your target audience. You can be making a fucking how to draw book for kids. Okay, and you can give it to a bunch of 50-year-olds and 30-year-olds and 20-year-olds. Now what you want to do is you want to tell them, grandma or granddad or dad or mom or sister or whoever you're going to give it to, please pick 2 covers out of these 6 or 7 or 10 or however many covers your niche has. Only your competitors' covers, only the books that are selling you're going to put on here. And you're going to hide your one in between these. Now, when you give them the option to pick 2, don't tell them which one is yours. You want them to make a decision by themselves. Now, guess what's going to happen? They're either going to pick yours and one of your competitors, or they're going to keep picking your competitors and completely skip past yours. Well, guess what that means? I don't think I have to make it any clearer for you. But if they start picking your one, great. You have a good book cover. You have data that says, oh yeah, your book cover is actually pretty good. It's not just from your mind thinking that you're the best designer in the world because you designed it on Canva and you're proud of yourself. Now, I know I sound like a dickhead. I know I sound very cocky, but I'm here to help you. I'm not here to act all like friendly and things. I'm here to help you actually make money because I'm tired of people coming to me with shit covers and then they're wondering why their book is not selling. So test out your book, gather the data to know if you actually genuinely have a good book cover or not. Now, when I first started my book, when I created this book, I had a book cover. I made it myself on Photoshop. I knew a little about Photoshop. I was very fucking proud of my cover. I thought I had one of the best covers in the niche. But guess what? Do you think my book was selling? Obviously not. My book wasn't selling at all. And what did I do? I put my ego aside and I said, you know what? I'm going to make more covers. And guess what? I made 3 variations of the cover. I'm not saying this is going to be a black one and everything's going to be the same, but there's going to be orange, and everything's going to be the same, but there's going to be red. I'm on about 3 completely different covers. So if you're doing a how to draw book, maybe you have a pencil here, and then you have some drawings like this, and then your title here. And then in the next variation, maybe you have your title in the middle, and then you have a bunch of drawings here around. So this is a little bit different. And maybe in the third variation, you have one big drawing here, then you have the title here, a little subtitle here, and then 4 extra drawings here. Now you can mess around with different colors and put everything in different places and different fonts and everything. But make sure you create 3 different variations, because guess what's going to happen? You're probably going to start off with one variation. You're going to realize it's shit, and then you're going to go to a completely different variation. You're going to realize, oh, this is a little bit better, but it's still shit. So you're going to make a third variation. And then you're going to be like, oh, you know what? I really like the font from this one, and I really like the way I put the images on this one. So I'm going to combine the 2 things that I got from the other fucking shit covers, put it on a new cover, and then start messing around with a new cover. And then eventually you're going to figure out, oh, wow, this cover is way better than when I first started. But guess what? Most people are too lazy. So what they do is they go on Canva, they make a cover, and the first cover they make, they say, oh yeah, I'm just going to publish this and pray to God that I want to make money. Now, if you combine this, making variations, and you combine the vision board or running a pick through contest, you're going to have a very, very good cover. You need to have the best cover in the niche. I know I said very good. Fuck very good. You need to have the best cover in the niche. If someone doesn't look at your cover and say, yes, that's the book I want to click on, you already failed. What's the point of making a book if you're going to be mediocre? Make a book where you are the best. If you make a cover, you need to have the best cover. If your competitors have really good covers, you need to have a better one than them. It's very simple. Most of you guys are failing because your book cover is shit and you don't have the best cover in the niche. Now, I don't want to make this video all about book covers, but there's one final thing you need to understand about book covers. Your competitors, most likely, I can't predict your niche, I don't know what niche specifically you're in, but your competitors most likely have paid someone professionally to create their book covers. If they're a traditional publisher, they paid for a designer to make that book cover. And that designer probably has 15 years of experience or 20 years of experience designing your book covers. Now, if you come, okay, and then you go on Fiverr and you say, you know what, let me order a $10 designer from Fiverr. And then, oh, why is my book not selling? You bought a $10 designer on Fiverr where he uses fucking AI and he doesn't even understand basic design principles, and then you're wondering why your book cover is not working. Now, I'm not here to tell you spend thousands of dollars on a book cover, but if you're in a niche where some of the people in that niche are spending hundreds of dollars for a book cover with professional designers with years of experience that understand design is their life, and then you go to a $5 designer on Fiverr and all they want to do is just get the fucking $3 that they're going to get from your order. They don't really give a fuck about your book or your design. Then obviously the other guys are going to completely annihilate you. So I hope that makes sense. I should just make this a book cover video. Anyway, that's what I learned from the $100 one. You know what? I think I need to go faster with the other ones. Okay, so $500. $500, super simple. I talk about it all the time. Demand matters. If you publish a book where there's literally no one searching for that book, So let's say I'm publishing a how to draw animal book for disabled people sitting on wheelchairs. Then there's no one looking for that book specifically. There's not enough people looking for that specific book for me to make a bunch of money. But if I find the niche where it's how to draw animals for kids, and I make a how to draw animals for kids, then great, there's actually people searching for my book. So I learned how to do correct research for $500 a month. Now I'm going to skip past this because I literally talk about it in every single one of my videos. Now if you want to see specifically step by step exactly how I do my niche research so I can find niches that are actually going to sell, then if you're part of the strongest KDP community, you have a whole module to go through. I show you literally everything. If you're not part of the community, then I'm going to leave a link. Something popped up here, a little eye thing. If you click on that, it's going to take you to a video where I'm going to show you some things about niche research, some things to look out for. Now, I can't show you everything in that video because it's probably going to take way more than an hour, but that's going to help you take your first step towards finding a profitable, high-demand niche. Now, let's go to $1,000 because this is something where most of you guys are probably interested in. So for $1,000, what did I do? Well, it's very simple. I started to understand just the psychology of people. So you have this guy, okay? And this guy has $20. And then what do you have? You have a book. This is your book. And how much are you going to price this book? You're going to price it $20. So what is your aim with KDP? Your aim is to get this guy to put his money in his pocket and then give it to you. And then as soon as this guy gives it to you, what do you give him? You give him the book. Correct? Correct. So how do you get this guy to give you $20? Do you give him a book that's worth $20? No. You don't want to give him a book that's worth $20. That's not why people buy things. People buy things when the object is worth more in their mind than the money in their pocket. If you have $10 and I have $10 and I say, can you give me your $10 and I'll give you my $10? You'll be like, why? Doesn't make any sense. But if I say, okay, give me $10, I'll give you 20. You'll be like, oh, of course, just doubled my money. It's easy. Now, how do you actually achieve this? How do you make this seem more valuable in order for them to be like, of course, I'm going to give the money for this book? Well, you need to increase the perceived value of your book. And how do you do that? Well, perceived value is all inside the customer's head. It's not a real thing. That's why the keyword is perceived. Perceived value. Let me see if I can switch markers because I think this one's running out. I think the blue one's better. So perceived value is all inside the customer's head. Can you see here? This is his brain. Everything that you need to do to get this guy to put his money into your pocket so you can give him the book is inside the brain. You have to control their brain. And their brain has emotions and there's also logic. Guess which one you have to target in order to get them to put their money into your pocket in order for them to buy your book? Do you think it's emotions or logic? If you said both, you're correct. Well done. You're actually learning something. You need to target their emotions and their logic. That's how you create perceived value. So let me actually give you a practical example. So let's say our book is about how to get women. Okay, we have a book, and basically this book, I know the drawing is amazing. Okay, don't diss me for my drawings. They're amazing. So this book is going to teach you how to get women. So women is the result that someone's looking for, that the person's looking for. They want more women, which means if the person wants more women, what is something they don't have currently? This is your target customer. Tell me something they don't have. Women. Great. They don't have women in their life. What else? Since they don't have women, what else do they not have? Well, they probably don't have sex either. They're probably not sexually active. What else? They don't have company. So they're probably very, very lonely. Correct? Correct. Now let's just stick with these three. They don't have any women, they don't have sex, and they don't have company, so they feel lonely. So if we craft everything on our page, so our title, our subtitle, our description, our A+ content, everything on our page, if we craft it to target their emotions and their logic regarding women, they're going to want to buy our book, as long as our book solves their problem. But first, we need to talk to them about their problem. So we're going to say, oh, I know how difficult it is to get women because 5 years ago, I was very lonely in bed and I haven't talked to any women for 3 years. And then every time I try to talk to women, I would go blank and I can't talk to them and then I can't communicate with them. And I felt really, really lonely. But then I discovered this big, massive secret. And then I started getting more women. And because I kept getting more women, I had more sex. Don't you want to have more sex? Don't you want to get more women? I know how lonely it feels. And I had no company. But now, after I learned the secrets in this book, women are just throwing themselves at me. And the secret is so much more simple than you think it is. And so forth and so forth. You want to make sure that they understand that they have a problem. Then you need to tell them the emotions that they're feeling with that problem. And then you need to show them why this book is going to solve their problem. And finally, you need to show them that this book is going to create their desired life. So when I'm writing my description and I'm like, okay, well, what sentence do I use in my description? Here's a sentence off the top of my head. You feel super lonely. This is not the actual sentence, but you can just take the base and then turn it whatever you want. Turn it into whatever you want. What's their problem? You feel really lonely and you sleep by yourself at night. That makes you feel super depressed and then you don't really see the point of living. It's a little bit too dark, but it's okay. Let's just go with it. But it's okay because I used to feel the same way. And the thing is, I spent 3 years learning exactly how to talk to women, what makes women like men, and I put it all into one book. If you get this book, you won't have to sleep by yourself at night anymore. You won't feel lonely. You're going to be having a bunch of sex and women are going to be throwing themselves at you. As long as you know the secrets inside this book. Now, do you think solving this problem, solving the women problem, is worth more than $20 to them? Of course it is. If I go to a guy and I tell him, yo, give me $20 and I'm going to give you this book that literally gives you the secrets to getting women. Every night you can have a new woman, you have an abundance of women, and you have an abundance of joy and happiness, and you won't feel lonely anymore. Do you think they're going to be like, no, I prefer to go get a fucking Big Mac for $20? No. They're going to be like, of course I want your book. Now, guess what? The things inside the book is the same information as all the other fucking books on KDP. There's nothing different. I'm not going to create my own information out of nowhere. But it's the way that you give the perceived value. It's the way that you present the problem to them. It's the way that you tell them, yes, I understand your problem, and this book is going to solve your problem. This is the basics of how to sell high content books. Now, if you're selling coloring books, I'm not here to teach you how to sell coloring books. I'm here to show you how to sell high content books. So if coloring books is your thing, then I'm sorry, I'm not the channel for you. So for $1,000 a month, I learned to understand my customer. Because if I understand my customer, I understood their problems, I understood their desires, I understood how to talk to them, the language that they had. I understood what they needed, and then I could create a book that represented what they needed. It was exactly what they wanted, and it was presented in a way that they wanted. That's why I was able to make a bunch of sales. Now, finally, $1,500 a month and more. What did I do in order to achieve this? Well, it's very simple. It's ads. What do I mean by ads? Everyone comes to me and they're like, Barry, my ads are not working. Barry, my ads are not working. Barry, please help. My ads are not working. My ads are losing me money. My ads this, my ads that. Well, what I realized with these people is that they don't really understand the purpose of ads. So here's the thing. You make a book, correct? And then hopefully the person that sees your book, okay, I'm going to draw one eye here. This person sees your book on Amazon and they want to buy the book. They really, really want to buy the book because you had an amazing book cover. You tested it. You know the book cover is better than all your competitors. So they see it and they click on it. And then because you built your listing page correctly and then you designed it correctly, you put the correct text, whatever we learned from the $1,000 per month, you told them their problems, you told them their desires, you told them how the book is going to solve their problems and give them the life they desire. You told them, you showed the value of your book correctly to them. And now they can't even think about anything else other than buying your book. They looked at all your other competitors and they saw you are the best one. You're the best designed one. You're the best spoken one. You have the nicest reviews. They went to see all your other competitors and they loved your book the most. And they're ready to buy your book. And then they do buy your book. So then they buy your book because you did everything correctly. So you created a book that's desirable. This is absolutely amazing. You get me? This is going to teach you how to get a bunch of women and your whole life is going to change. And this guy doesn't have any women. So they're going to buy your book. Guess what ads does? Do you think ads makes your book better? Do ads improve your book? No. So ads don't improve your book. Do ads make you money? Do you give money to ads and then it gives you money back? No, that's not the purpose of ads. So if it doesn't make your book better and it doesn't bring you money, what do ads do? What's the purpose of ads? Well, ads is literally just for traffic. What does this mean? Traffic means the people. It gets the people to your page and that's it. That's the purpose of ads. The only purpose of ads is not to make you sales. It's to get people onto your book. Now, guess what? You control the people that go in your book. You control the keywords. You control the products. You control the campaigns. You control your bids. You control everything. So if your ads are not working, there's only two things that you're probably doing wrong for them not to work. Either you're bringing the wrong people to the book. So if we're selling a how to get women book, you're bringing married men to this book. or you're bringing women to this book. Unless they're lesbians, it doesn't make any sense. Who you want to bring to this book are people searching for this book, not someone not searching for this book. But let's say you are bringing people that are searching for this book. Let's say you are bringing relevant people. Great. Ads did its job. It brought the person to your book. Ads complete. Because it's all about traffic. If you're getting impressions, your ads are working. Because that's literally the point. If you're not getting clicks, if you're getting a bunch of impressions and no clicks, they're just not clicking on your book. The ads are still showing to the people. Your book is still being shown. It's just no one's clicking on it. If a really, really, really ugly girl goes to a party full of guys and she doesn't leave with a guy, it's not because the guys didn't see her. Oh, it doesn't work. I can't see the ugly girl. No, they saw her and they're like, I don't want her. They chose someone else. And that's what they're doing with your books as well. They're choosing someone else because your book is probably shit. So if they do click on your book and they're not buying, well, there's one reason why they're not buying. Because your book didn't seem valuable enough for them to give their money, which is what we talked about with perceived value. That's why your ads almost always work. It's almost never a problem with your ads. Sometimes it is a problem because you have to have the correct strategy. But most of the times, 99.999% of the times, your ads are working perfectly. It's everything else that you're fucking up. It's everything else that you're becoming lazy and you're not putting the effort in. Now imagine this. You publish in a niche with a bunch of people. Like hundreds of thousands of people are searching for that niche every single month. And then you create a book where the book cover is the best book cover in that niche. And how do you know that? Because you did the data at the start. Because you're not an idiot. You're not thinking from your own brain. You're getting the data because you know that you're running a business. So you made a very, very, very attractive book cover. The best book cover in the niche. So you're getting most of the clicks because your cover looks so fucking good. Now, after people clicked on it, and a bunch of people are going to click on it because there's a bunch of people searching for it, because a bunch of people click on it, a bunch of people are going to see your sales page. This is where they actually get to buy your book. This is where they see your A+ content and your description and your reviews and everything. Now, this looks absolutely amazing. Your perceived value is through the roof. You have 100 reviews. Your description is written in a way where it literally shows them, hey, I know your problem. This book is going to solve your problem. I know what you're going through. This is going to help you. I know what you want to achieve in the next month or 2 or 3 months. This book is going to help you. It's literally the only purpose of you buying a book. I'm reading a book now. Look at the book I'm reading. I'm reading this book right now, Psycho-Cybernetics. If any one of you guys have read this book, you know how fucking good this book is. Now, this book, I got it for £10.99. Is this worth £10.99? No, it's probably worth thousands of dollars to me. Because if I can implement the information inside this book, and this can help me make $1,000 more this month, then great. This book is a fucking great investment. And you can ask anyone who's read this book, they would read it again. That's how good this book is. Now, if I run ads to this book, do you think more people are going to buy it? Of course they are, because you can understand the value of that book. So the book cover looks good, so a bunch of people click on it. Your listing looks absolutely amazing because you showed the value. You showed that other people are benefiting from your book. Your reviews are all positive. Now, guess what? Are they going to buy? Yes, they're going to buy because you are the best one in the niche. People want the best book in the niche. Now, guess what? If this already works, then if you put ads and then you 10x your traffic, so you 10x the people that click on your book, is that going to 10x your results? Of course it is. Now, if you have a shit book, if you have a terrible fucking book, and let's say 100,000 people are searching every single month, and then 100 people are clicking on your book, which is shit results. Basically, no one is clicking on your book. And then out of those 100 people, 3 people are buying. Are you making any money? No, you're probably fucking losing a shit ton of money. Because your book is shit, then your page is shit, and then no one's really buying your book. Well, guess what? If you bring 10 times more traffic, is that going to make your book better? No, it's just going to make your results 10 times shittier. You're going to lose 10 times more money. The ads are not the problem. Your book is the problem. Your book cover is the problem. The book listing is the problem. Your reviews might be the problem. Everything else is the problem. Now, if you don't know what you're supposed to fix everything one by one. Adjust everything one by one and see what gives you good results. Maybe you need to adjust your price. Maybe you need to adjust your book cover. Maybe you need to publish in a different niche. Maybe you need different keywords. Maybe you need a different A+ content. Just keep going. What are you going to do? Lose more money? Just keep improving your books. That's how I managed to go from 0 to $1,500 a month. I figured out that I need to create a really, really good book. I studied my customer for at least a week so I can understand exactly what their pain points are, what they needed. I made a book around that customer. I paid someone $400 for a book cover. Then I made small adjustments myself to make it even better because I understood the customer. So I had a really good book cover that I knew the customer was going to like. I did my vision board. and people selected my book cover along with a competitor. All the other ones were fucking shit anyway. So I gathered the data that my book cover was good, and then I priced my book at $16.99. Then I created my book listing, so my A+ content and my description and my title, everything was tailored towards the customer because I understood the customer and I knew what they wanted, and everything was saying, I know your problem, this book is going to solve it. I know your problem, this book is going to solve it. I know your problem, this book is going to solve it. And they're like, okay, I have 5 problems. This book listed all 5 of my problems, and it says that it's going to solve all 5 of my problems. Should I buy this book? Of course I want to buy this book. And guess what? The book was good. They read it, left reviews. And then when I run ads, it obviously increased my sales and it got me up to $1,500 a month with one book. But what I'm trying to say is you have to make that one book really, really, really good. Focus on that one book. Make it impossible for you to not succeed with that one book. Don't rely on your brain. Rely on data. And make the book for your customer. Don't make the book so you can make money. Make the book so your customer is satisfied. Make the book so it solves your customer's problem. And then money will be the byproduct of that anyway. Anyway, I'm sorry if I was shouting a bunch. I just had a Red Bull. So yeah, I hope this video was helpful. And go out there and just make a bunch of money.